morning, girls. Miss Katie here. Today we're doing Brownie Senses, step 3 and 4, and I'm going to start by going over all the steps to achieve this badge. So step 1 is look around. Step 2 is listen to the world. Step 3 is put your nose to work. That's what we're going to be working on. Step 4 is take a taste test. We're also going to be doing that. And step 5 is touch and feel. So obviously Brownie Senses is all about our 5 senses: sight, sound, smell, taste, and touch. But like I said, we're going to be working on smell and taste today, and this is super easy. It's kind of a guess that smell taste game, and it works best if you have somebody there to help you. But all you have to do, all you need for this activity is just go into your kitchen pantry or your refrigerator and raid your cabinets. So I guess we'll start with the smell game, and I'll kind of go over all the different scents that I chose from my kitchen. So I have cinnamon, I have curry, good morning everybody, clove, rosemary, and then I have mint. And you can do this in a number of ways. You can take your different spices, or really whatever you're choosing to play your smell game with, and you can either put them in identical sized cups or containers. That way you can't tell a difference when you're smelling in terms of like when you're picking things up. You can take plastic cups and put a little portion of your scents in your plastic cups, and you can poke holes in the bottom and then flip your cup upside down and cover your little pile of your spices and do it that way, and that way you can't see it. The idea is to not be able to peek. Or you can just close your eyes and have somebody hand you something and you have to figure out what it is. But today, since I'm here by myself, I just thought, since all my containers are identical, I'm just gonna flip them all around on my desk, close my eyes, or just keep my eyes on the camera so you guys know that I'm not cheating, and then I'm going to try to figure out what my scent is without tasting it or seeing the color or any other identifying factors. So it's going to be pretty neat. So like I said, I have my 5 different scents. I'm just going to switch them all around and not look. But it's pretty interesting because the idea here is that you have to be able to identify what we're smelling without seeing it or describing whatever it's called, I guess describing whatever it is that we're smelling without saying the name of what we're smelling, if that makes sense. So it's a little tricky because it's easy if you just taste something like chocolate and you're like, oh, that's chocolate, but you have to really think about the aroma of what you're smelling. So you have to use your scent. So, okay, so I'm not gonna look, mixing them all around. And you guys will know that I'm not picking. Okay, I think we're ready. Like I said, it's so easy, super fun. It can be a really fun challenge if you have a friend to do this with. Hi, Melissa. Okay, so here we go. So I got my first one. I'm gonna cover it with my hands so I don't see the color. I'm gonna put my nose to the dust. Okay, so let me think. So I had my mint, I had my curry, I have to remember what I had. Okay, let me just focus. Hi! Okay, so let me describe what I'm smelling. It smells very fresh. Smells a little minty, but see, there it is. I'm using the word. If it's mint, I can't use that word. So instead of minty, I could describe maybe cool, crisp, kind of reminds me of toothpaste. So I'm pretty confident that this is mint. So let me put my top on. Dang it, I got it wrong. Okay, it was rosemary. So that's a little tricky because it's kind of similar to mint. See, but now that I know, I can tell. Oh, okay, let's smell around. It's funny how your senses can play tricks on you. Okay, so I know that rosemary's out. Let's see. Okay, it's very heavy, and this will be a lot harder if you guys have never smelled or tasted what you're trying to figure out what it is. So you kind of have to be familiar with what you're working with. Okay, so like I said, it's very heavy. It kind of has a a pungent, I don't know, dark smell. I know that's not a smell, but I'm trying to think. It's kind of fresh. Okay, so I think this is clove. Okay, I was right, it's clove. What word would you guys use to describe clove? That one's a little tricky. Yeah, I don't know. Okay, keep rolling. Okay, so I have curry, cinnamon, and mint left. Okay, here we go. Spicy. You're right, Melissa. Woo! Okay, this one is definitely spicy. Makes my nose tickle. Okay. It's very heavy. It reminds me of kind of a Mediterranean restaurant. So I think this one is my curry. Woo! Definitely curry. Woo! Gets in your nose. Love it. Okay. So now I have my mint and my cinnamon. And think about how different those two things are. So mint is very light and refreshing. Cinnamon is more sweet. So just the two spices themselves are so different. It should be pretty easy, but let's see if I can figure it out. Okay. This one is much more minty than my rosemary. So this is definitely the mint. Okay, so I want to compare my mint with my rosemary. Okay, so the rosemary is more kind of herby. Kind of reminds me of something you would smell in your garden. And your mint is just like a pack of toothpaste. Yep. So that's pretty interesting. How would you describe rosemary, Melissa? Are there any words I'm missing? Okay. Last but not least, I know that this is cinnamon, but okay, cinnamon is very, reminds me of Christmas, honestly. Sweet, pungent. Kind of just smells like a candle, honestly. Woody. Ugh, see, that's a good one. Melissa, you're good at this. Okay, cinnamon. Whew. I might have the sneezes, you guys. Okay, so like I said, that's super easy peasy. And it's a lot more fun when you have a friend that can kind of challenge you to figure it out. But now we're going to do our taste test. And this one is super fun. Make sure you get foods or condiments that aren't super gross. And you don't need a lot of whatever you're going to use. So I have my 5 cups. And this is how I'm going to do this. I have mustard. And now we are obviously using our taste scent. I'm just going to put a little bit of mustard in there. You don't need a lot. Try to get different things with different consistency too. I have honey. Just a little bit. I have my favorite organic raspberry jam. And again, so it's a little different because I'm the one who chose all these items and I'm the one who's also tasting them. But if you have a friend or a family member that picks certain items out of the fridge without you knowing what they chose, it's a little harder. So try to get some help with this one. Wipe off my jelly. Okay. And then last but not least, peanut butter. So I got some sweet stuff, I got some sour stuff, I got all kinds of stuff. Okay. Now. So when I was teaching in the school 3 years ago now, I actually did this with a, you can take paper bags and you can put things that feel different. So you can do a fun little activity where you test, you know, so you reach your hand in the bag and you're trying to guess what it is without seeing it. So you have to just rely on what something feels like. That's also really fun. Okay, so I've got my 5 cups and what I'm going to do is I'm going to label each one. kidding. I have 4 cups. What was I thinking? Okay, so I'm gonna write cup number 1, cup number 2, cup 3, and cup 4. And this is gonna be more like a game. So I have a piece of paper right next to me. And what I'm gonna do as I go through this is I'm going to describe what I'm tasting and see if I can get them right. So I'm just gonna do 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Point it down so you guys can see. Okay, I'm gonna mix them all around. I want you guys to know that I'm not popping my head in. Okay. Mix them all around. So hard not to peek. Okay. 4 cups. I need to find my spoon though. Hold on. Okay, let me do it again. So here's my spoon. One more time. Am I ready? One more. Okay. So this is cup number 3. I do not know what's in here. So I'm just going to take my spoon, try to find it. You guys can watch me take a little taste. Okay. So it's a little sour. It's a little sticky in my mouth. So remember, when you're doing this, think about consistency, kind of the experience that your mouth is having. It's light. It's definitely sweet. I'm going to go with honey. So on my number 3 on my paper, I'm going to write my guess, which is honey, and my reason, which is why. So that was a sweet, light, kind of sticky experience. Okay, set that one to the side and do my next one. Cup number 4. All right. Make sure if you need to, you're clearing your palette or your spoon. I've got some paper towels to the side. Okay, I think I've got some. That is sour. That is very sour. That's mustard. I know that that's mustard because I've had it for so many times. Okay, I'm confident. Cup 4. Let me think about why I know that's mustard. Okay, so sour. When you guys think of mustard, what do you think? It's kind of vinegary. It's kind of, yeah, vinegar. It leaves a weird aftertaste too. Okay. I think that's good. I need to rinse off my spoon. Okay, so I've got 2 out of 4. Okay, cup 1. Here we go. Don't peek. Okay, jelly. I know how, because it's very fruity. It's very sweet. Melissa says smooth consistency for the mustard. So the jelly is very squishy. It's sticky. I can feel it on my lips when I'm done. Yeah. All right. So that's cup 1. Jelly. So what did I say? I said sticky, fruity, sweet. Did I miss anything else? Squishy in my mouth. Okay. All right, so we know what's left, but I'm gonna do it anyway. Okay. Peanut butter. So peanut butter, it's kind of grainy. If you kind of rub it on the roof of your mouth, it's thick. nutty, smooth, very smooth. And it just kind of takes over your mouth. Just makes your mouth feel really, really full. Okay, so, and again, I kind of know my flavors, so I know what the options were, which makes it a little easier. Okay, so cup one, let's see. Where is it? Cup one is jelly, I was right. Sticky, fruity, sweet, squishy. Cup two is my peanut butter. Yep. Cup three, I guessed honey. We're right, honey's in there. And cup four was my mustard. Super fun. So like I said, just a really fun game you can play with your family or your friends. If you guys want some more ideas, one time me and my husband actually, we wanted to see if we could taste the difference between Coca-Cola, Diet Coke, RC Cola, and there was another one. We just got all of the different brands of the same types of soda, and it's really, really tricky. So play this game, let me know what you thought, but by doing this, you're achieving steps 3 and 4 of Brownie Senses. I hope you guys had fun. Have a great day. Happy tasting and smelling.